Woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Mad Dog, and we're back with another video. It's the beginning of the month, and you know that can mean only one thing. Yes, it is time for your May 2021 edition of Whale Watch. This is a series that I do once a month where we take a recordinary screen, we sit down and take a look at some of the books that might be going out of print. Maybe they've gone out of print and you've got a last minute chance to find them, or maybe we can find a cheeky deal along the way. But you're going to want to make sure that you tune into this one all the way to the end, because this time, for once, after countless months of you guys asking, yes, I am finally covering Marvel Epic Collections. But that's going to be in the Marvel section. I'm in no way trying to create any kind of fear of missing out. I just want to make sure that people can get the books that they want, but we're just going to jump right into it because we've got a bumper month for independent titles. The first one that we're going to do is our East of West check. Now, if you haven't heard, these East of West books, they're only going to get one more printing, so apparently once these are gone, they are gone. So as you can see here, East of West Year 1, it's for double cover price over here on Amazon when it's used. Last in stock about a week or so ago. Year 2 is at full cover price, which if you followed any of these Whale Watch episodes, that's one of the signs that means it might be on its way out. And you've only really got independent sellers that are selling it on the third party. Volume 3 is the most recent, so I think this will have the highest stock count. There's still quite a healthy amount of places that are selling this. You've got your Books etc, your Book Depository. But yeah, Organic Price Books does still have all three of them in stock as well. Let's have a look on Forbidden Planet. Again, it takes me straight through to Power Rangers, which comes in handy more often than you'd think. So they've got Year 1 in stock, Year 2 and Year 3, and they're all for very decent prices. I remember last month that they said that they were going to get more of these in stock sometime in April, and it does seem as if that's happened because none of these are on pre-order anymore. Now the next one did feature in last month's Whale Watch, but I remember we talked about The Wicked and the Divine. Now Volume 2, which I believe I couldn't really see on Amazon last month, they do have some in Forbidden Planet, but it says that there's not many left, and these are normally quite accurate, so we're going to have a look on Amazon as well. There's only 3 places that have got it new, and it's only really Amazon and Blackwell's that are selling it for undercover price. Volume 1's at full price, and they're the only place that's selling it at cover. Jesus Christ, that's a steep increase. Yep, Book 2, it's currently unavailable on Amazon, and also Book 3 is as well, so you can get Book 2 from Forbidden Planet. If it wasn't maybe you were like me a few years ago, that you'd pick up a Volume 1 or something and then forget to pick up the rest, now is your time to get these, because it looks like these Kieran Gillen deluxe editions that come out of Image, they don't really tend to get reprinted, because your boy right here is waiting on the complete phonogram still. One that I got asked about last month, which I thought would be okay for a little bit of time, but it's this one right here, Richard Stark's Parker the Martini edition. Now as you can see, there's only one left in stock, but it isn't even being dispatched by Amazon directly, it's by Speedy Hen. Amazon's going for it a little bit cheaper than that, so again it's weird why they aren't showcasing that, but for me, it seems like everywhere's got these, so I don't really know why this was put on my radar as something that might be worth putting in Whale Watch. And as well, this second volume's coming out later this year, as you can see here. It's due out in September. It got brought up last month, so I thought I'd mention it here if there was anybody that hadn't picked up that book, but maybe you wanted to. The next one, I know I mentioned this a few months ago, but it's worth bringing it up again because it's the Fatale Deluxe Edition Volume 2. I know they said in Ed Brubaker's newsletter that they were planning a reprint of Volume 1, and we haven't really had any news since then. So you may not want to pick up a Volume 2. That's fine, you don't have to. I'm not going to spend your money for you. But if it was that you wanted Volume 2, maybe for some reason you had Volume 1, like I actually spoke to somebody that found Volume 1 in a comic shop quite recently, and then he wouldn't sell it to me, so I was a little bit sad. But it's still got about 30% off over here at Amazon, but there are only 2 places that are selling it, and the other one is a local comic shop, so that's not really a great sign. All I'm saying is, if for whatever reason you needed this book, this looks like it'd be on the radar for me if you wanted to pick it up. The next one, I haven't really talked about these before, but it's these 6 Gun Deluxe Editions, you know, the big fancy ones, but I don't believe these come with the slip cases. But as you can see here, just looking through all of them, that's pretty much at cover price. There's only 9 people that are selling it, and only Book Depository, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, and Super Book Deals are selling it at third party new. It's pretty much the same for Volume 5. Volume 2 is a similar situation, only 8 people are selling that one. Again for Volume 3, pretty much at cover price, and Volume 4 is as well with only 2 people selling it. So for me, if you were missing out on any of these 6 Gun books, I was tempted to pick these up at one point, but it's quite a steep investment when I don't really know what this series is or if I'd enjoy it, so I put it on the back burner for a bit of time, and maybe I've missed my chance on it now. I aren't really too sure if these are likely to come back in print, and I'm going to apologise if my hair's all over the place. It's been a Really long week. But these 6th Gun books, it looks like these are on the way out. But if you were missing a volume or 2 of these, I'd recommend just jumping on them so that you can complete your collection, rather than it be the case that you think that there's going to be a reprint when we've got no confirmation of it, and then you end up having gaps in your collection. Like, I'd hate that more so. These Harrow County Library editions, now, as you can see, there was a time when volume 2 and volume 3 were really difficult to get. At the minute, they're not even advertising the books, it's literally just saying Kindle. Like, it's almost as if these books didn't exist. And as we know in this community, as soon as it looks like something is going out of print, all of a sudden everybody wants it, and then they just don't care a month later. Well, if it was that you bought any of these Harrow County books and you were missing out on some of the volumes, I would recommend checking out organic price books because of the fact that it looks like these library editions are coming back. I'm assuming this means that it is going to be a wide re-release. I don't think this is an organic price books exclusive, but at the same time, if you were missing out on any of these, I'd rather pre-order them and make sure that I'm gonna get them. And as well, there is an affiliate link for organic price books in the description down below, but I do just treat these as another resource when it comes to whale watch. But if you do want to support the channel, that link does greatly help. And as well, if you use code WOOFWOOF, you will get $2 off your order. But hopefully that's some good news for any of you guys. If it was that you're missing out on this volume 2, maybe this volume 3, or maybe you just wanted to get the full set. I was in doubt when these paperback omnibuses came out. I almost picked this up, and it's probably a good job that I didn't. Speaking of library editions, one that I noticed came back and should hopefully be good news to some of you is Black Hammer Library Edition Volume 2. If you remember, shortly after this came out, so I think it would have been in January's Whale Watch when we last talked about this book was already difficult to find. So as you can see here, it was already over cover price. Now the price has dropped a little bit. It is being sold by Amazon US, but the fact of the matter is, it is here again. So for you, if you were somebody who wanted this, just jump on it. Like, I don't really know what is happening with these. Dark Horse is so hit and miss on if they're going to keep something in stock or if they're not. Like, in one breath, you will have the Hellboy library editions that have been in stock pretty much since they first started coming out, but then you'll have the BPRD hardcovers, and once they're gone, you just can't get them again. So that's one that I would recommend checking out. Looking at another deluxe edition from Image, like I said, this month, I'm trying to change up the format a little bit because I don't want to just be repeating the same books all the time. So the next one that we're going to look at is We Stand on Guard Deluxe Edition by Brian K. Vaughan. This used edition for £5.61. I wouldn't trust anything from Music Magpie. People only send to Music Magpie when it is that they know it's too damaged to sell to someone directly. This has been in print since 2016. I don't know if this has ever really been out of stock. No, it doesn't look like it has, but this isn't one of those big massive Brian K. Vaughan titles that you often hear getting talked about. It isn't Saga, it isn't Paper Girls, so I'm not really too sure if Image would reprint this. I know obviously the creators have more control over that. I'm not really sure if this is something that Brian K. Vaughan would have the intention of putting back in print. Admittedly, I'm a little bit worried, so I'm going to add that to my basket. The next book that we talk about is actually only because of Ed Brubaker's newsletter. Now, it's Cruel Summer, which is technically part of Criminal. Well, actually, it is part of Criminal. I'm not sure why I'm saying technically. You see, even I'm correcting myself all the time now, but this is a book that you need if it is that you wanted to get the complete Criminal in oversized hardcover. I did an entire video talking about how to collect Criminal, but the reason why this is showing up, if you look at it now, it might not look like this has any reason to be in Whale Watch. It looks like so many places have already still got it. But if we go over to Ed Brubaker's newsletter, you can see here that it says, we just about sold out on the Cruel Summer Oversized Deluxe Hardback, so if you're still on the fence about that one, you may want to act now. So what this means is that when these books that are out and that are at Amazon and that they're at Speedy Hen, once they are gone, they aren't able to order anymore. So maybe you just got all your Criminal Deluxe editions, congratulations, I'm getting volume 1 and 2 soon as well, so I can join the party. But maybe you didn't realise that you needed Cruel Summer. Well, this is that realisation for you. Don't sleep on this. You don't want it to be that you'll always know in the back of your head that you've got an incomplete set, so definitely make sure that Cruel Summer is one of those that you pick up sooner rather than later. Now, this next one might also surprise you. Once again, it's Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I don't actively follow his newsletter, it's just when I really get a chance to see. Already though, there is nobody that's selling this new, and all of the used ones are sort of like new, very good. But yeah, pulp already seems to have been going that way of being out of print. So where I found this was in Forbidden Planet Birmingham, and it was also signed, so I'm gonna have a see if I can find this for you here. That's the paperback version. No, so the hardcover's not even available on Read Comics either, so this is definitely one that you do need to jump on as well. It's very inexpensive if you find it in a comic shop. I believe cover price is about £15, and like I said, I even got mine signed, so definitely make sure that that isn't one that you sleep on for too long. One that is no stranger to Whale Watch in the past is the Incorruptible Omnibus, which I cannot spell. This only came out last October. There were so many instances where this was in stock, then it was out of stock, and then it just went back and forth. Literally earlier today when I was checking on this book, this was in stock at Amazon and now it's not there anymore. So it had pretty much 2 months where it was out of stock completely, and then it just appeared once again for a short amount of time. Boom Studios, I know this from personal experience, are not that great at keeping books in stock. But when I was messaging places like Forbidden Planet Glasgow, they had these on the shelves, and I do believe that there are quite a few comic book shops that would have this in stock. One that I've heard rumblings about is the Spawn Compendium, which only came out pretty much 2 months ago. It's not on Forbidden Planet at the minute. Speedy N has it, Wordery has it, Book Depository has it, so it's kind of hit and miss in where actually has this book at the moment. JP over at Organic Price Books has it for a healthy 25% off. Read Comics has it for about 15% off, so there are a few places that have this, but I genuinely don't have a clue what's happening with the stock levels of this. But if this was something that you desperately wanted, I'd recommend jumping on it whilst it is at least under cover price. Now, one that I have to bring up because I find it quite funny that people are even considering that this might be out of print at this point in time. The Invincible Compendiums. Now yeah, volume 2 says temporarily out of stock. I don't know if anybody else is selling it. Nope, not at the minute. Volume 1's at full cover price and it doesn't look like anywhere else has got it. And volume 3 saying it's back in stock in June. I'm just going to lump these in together because the Ultimate Collections as well, I've had a few people panicking about. I made that video a few days ago when it was like how to collect Invincible, deciding which format was best for you. So if you don't really know which one you should probably buy for yourself, I'd recommend checking out that video. But if you look, a lot of these are temporarily out of stock, in stock on June. And even if all of these are either out of stock or pretty much at full cover price, even volume 8 doesn't look like it's available there. Guys, do not panic about Invincible at this point in time. It's just that the demand for these books has been so outrageous as a result of the Amazon Prime show, which yeah, I did really fucking enjoy, that they didn't have enough books ready to meet that demand, but they are going to catch up to it. Look, the Ultimate Collection for volume 1 has been in print since 2018, and it's been in print consistently up till now. Do you think that it's going to be in print for 13 years, but then as soon as there's going to be a TV show about it, they're like, yeah, make sure nobody can buy that now. As well, over in America, they are already getting some stock of these Invincible volumes already, but I know that he had about 120 of this volume 1 come in the other week and it's already gone, but they are on back order so he can get in stock for you. It does look like the majority of these are on back order, but if he allows you to order it, he can at least place that order with Diamond, so at least you know that you can trust that you're probably going to get the book. But yeah, do not worry about Invincible. Please don't pay over cover price. Please make sure that you don't get scalped for these books, because give it a couple more months, especially when the hype for the show has died down between seasons 1 and 2, you're probably going to find these everywhere once again like it was pretty much 5 months ago. One that I haven't had a chance to read just yet, but it might be of interest to a few of you, is these Wasteland Compendiums. But as you can see here, it's been in print since 2017. Amazon's the cheapest place it's selling it at the moment. The only other one that I've really used in the past is Book Depository. Actually, that's a pretty decent price. I'm adding that to my basket as well. And it looks like volume 2 is pretty much the same as well. It says temporarily out of stock. The only other place is this UK paperback shop, which I've never really had too much of an experience with before. Oh shit, I might have to buy this. It says perfect for fans of Mad Max Fury Road. I love that movie. But those are 2 books that I noticed were going a little bit out of stock here and there. So if you wanted them, make sure you put them on your radar. Maybe add them to your basket like I'm doing right now. Another one by Warren Ellis is Global Frequency Deluxe Edition, which is this one right here. Now look, 3 people are selling it new, although both of those are sort of like independent shops. Amazon's at full cover price, and I'm not really too sure what the international Amazons will be like. Yeah, they're all pretty much the same, so it's pretty much all at cover price, so that's never really a good sign. It's been in print for over 3 years now, and it is from DC, and they can often put some of their more obscure titles out of print. Actually, what the fuck am I talking about? Sometimes they put their like more known titles out of print. So there's another one that I think should be on your radar. But this Rat Queens Volume 1, I'm not really too sure what this is. 45% off, okay, add to basket. But having a look at it, there's only 2 places that are selling it, Amazon and this place called Everything Must Go, which I haven't really heard too much about. It's been in print since 2015, and this isn't a title that I've heard a lot of buzz about. That makes me a little bit cautious on what's going to happen once this goes out of stock. So if that was a book that you were interested in, I'd recommend picking it up, because some books by Image that go out of print can become even bigger whales than books from like Marvel. Black Science Premier Hardcover Volume 3. Now you might have been one of those rare people that had Volume 1 and 2, and for some reason you haven't picked up Volume 3 just yet. I remember when these were first coming out, Remender said that this is going to be the last printing for the good for foreseeable future. So volume 3 is on its way out. A1 Toys is the only other place that's got it. I think I've ordered from them in the past and, you know, they were pretty decent. It's at full price on Amazon. There's only 8 left in stock. Pretty much all the other Amazons are at a very similar price except for the one in America. So I'm just going to touch on that one quickly in case it was the case that you needed volume 3 and you still haven't picked it up. This might be your last chance and you don't want it to go as out of print as volume 2 did before you got the reprint. Another that I want to draw your attention to is the Godland Celestial editions. Now, these are by Joe Casey. They've got very good Jack Kirby vibes. Don't even believe that was a sentence. Like I said, it's been a very long day, so my brain isn't working at the minute, but I'm just going to try and power through to make sure I can get this video out to you guys. But there's 3 volumes of this. They originally came out in 2007. Book 2 is at full price and they're the only place that sells it, and for some reason it says available to ship in 1 to 2 days, which is very un-Amazon of them. However, I do believe that Cheap Comics had this as part of their sale a few months ago, and yeah, volume 1 is still half price, volume 2 is at the same, but they haven't got volume 3 at the minute from what I can see. Another one that I know is part of Cheap Comics' sale is Casanova. So there are 3 volumes to this. Volume 1 is part of their sale. It's not as great of a discount as I originally thought it was, but volume 2 is pretty much at 50% off. If we look at somewhere like Amazon, and if you're wondering the reason why we go to Amazon first is because a lot of third parties will gravitate towards them. So if it's not available from anyone at Amazon, it is going to be difficult to find it somewhere else. It's going to be more that your luck helps you find it somewhere else. So volume 1's pretty much near enough at cover price, and as you can see, there's only 10 people that are selling it. Book Depository is selling it new, Blackwell's is as well. Volume 3, the one that we couldn't find on Cheap Comics, there's only 6 left in stock. Amazon's the only place that's stocking it. Yeah, I think these are on the way out. But like I said, it's not all doom and gloom over here at Whale Watch, because I want to give you some good news that I found courtesy of the Omnibuddy himself, Mitch. I love this guy's channel. I hope he'll join me for an MDC at some point. If you aren't subscribed already, make sure that you are. Fun fact though, I was his 100th subscriber, so I get the bragging rights for that one. But he put up an email that he had between himself and Fantagraphics customer service about the original Usagi Yojimbo Collector's Edition that was the 2 volumes in the slipcase. As you know, there was a hardback version and then there was a paperback version, and pretty much both of them are really difficult to get. This is the email that he had with them, and they said that we are reprinting the special edition in hardcover but using the paperback edition design with the red spines. So the book that they are talking about is this one right here. Now this has been really difficult to get. It came out in 2010 and there's been a lot of people that have become fans of this series since then. So it's effectively going to be this book again in hardback but with these red spines. So that's good news all around, but just make sure that you don't pay stupid amounts if you find one. The last independent book that we're going to talk about is Lady Killer by Joelle Jones and Jamie Rich. Now it's this library edition. Dark Horse is great for the library editions, and I've heard people say that this looks like it's gone out of print. You know, there are some of those signs that it's been in print for nearly a year now. It's only got 16% off and there's not too many places that are selling it cheaper, but believe it was in stock trades that all of a sudden had this back in stock and then it pretty much went out of stock again straight away. And yeah, it doesn't look like you can find it at all. So I don't know if that is a sign that it is disappearing over there and that we need to jump on it. Let's have a see if Forbidden Planet's still got it in stock. Yeah, they've still got it, so it seems as if it's almost easier to get in the UK than it is in the US at the moment. Okay, so we're just going to move into the DC books now. I had to have a little bit of a break because it just felt absolutely awful when I was filming that previous bit. And as well, I couldn't find any way to make my hair look okay, so I decided to just go for every 80s bad guy ever, if he was crossed with the skin complexion of Lord Voldemort. But we're just going to look at some absolute editions here. Now the first one that we're going to look at was suggested to me in the comments on last month's Whale Watch, and it was the World's Greatest Heroes Absolute Edition. But as you can see, it's been in print since 2017 and there's only one place that's selling it used. The reason why it didn't feature previously though was because it had been in stock in Amazon for quite a while. It was only halfway through March when it disappeared. Before then, it's been pretty consistently available, but it just seems as if it's dried up everywhere. Now, Purple Button of Doom there. It is pretty much undercover price here at Cheap Comics, so I'd recommend picking it up from there if you're looking for this one. But with this book, it's one that comic shops decided to pick up because of the fact that it had every Justice League member painted by Alex Ross on the slipcase. I got this from Forbidden Planet Glasgow because I saw it on the shelves, and there are quite a lot of companies that did decide to buy quite a few of these, so I'd just recommend reaching out to a comic shop that is in the same vicinity as you, or maybe just in the same country that's willing to do mail order, and just see if they've got this, because it might surprise you just how many you can still find. The next one that I'm going to bring up, because I don't want it to be all doom and gloom, but it's the Absolute Swamp Thing. Now I know a lot of people missed out on volume 2 right here, here, but it's gonna come back in stock as of about the 3rd of May. So you can order this in advance from organic price books if it was that you wanted to make sure that you just didn't miss out on this at all. You can still get volume 1 over here at Forbidden Planet, but can't see volume 2 just yet. Okay, so you can buy volume 1 at the minute, but I believe that's coming from Amazon US last time. Yeah, Amazon US is the one that's selling that. Volume 2, let's have a look at that one. Okay, so there's one person that's selling it new, Amazon US again. So for me, if you wanted to make sure that you didn't miss out on this, organic price books is your best bet. But yeah, this is definitely one that if you did want it, I'd recommend getting it because of the fact that it was just so difficult to get quite a few months ago. Here's another absolute that I thought I'd point out, and it's All-Star Superman. Pretty much being consistently in stock. Ironically, it was at the beginning of this book's lifespan that you couldn't get. But look here, it's already at full cover price. There's only 3 places that are selling it, and neither of those are really places that we really know a lot about. They've got some decent ratings to them, so I'm not knocking them personally. I'm just saying I haven't heard anybody order from them. But these say that they're getting more in on the 14th, so that's always worth checking back in case you do manage to get them. And I believe this was on back order over here at organic price books. Yeah, so it's this one right here. You can get 35% off at the minute, which is pretty decent. It is on back order though, so you might be waiting a week or two for him to actually get it in stock. However, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of the fact that there is going to be an All-Star Superman Deluxe Edition. There are exceptions to this rule, but near enough every single time there's been a Deluxe Edition that's coming out, it normally ends up being the case that the Absolute or the Fancy Edition tends to disappear. That's what I've noticed at least. Like I said, there will be times when people will probably say, oh, but this book that didn't happen for. Well, okay, not everything's a straight rule. They haven't got the listing for the Deluxe Edition just yet. This is a Spanish version, so unless you can speak Spanish, I wouldn't recommend picking that one up. I know this one had an omnibus, so it kind of rejects what I literally just said about Deluxes, meaning that Absolute tend to go out of print, but it's Absolute Superman Batman Volume 1. Again, been in print since 2013. Still got a decent 32% off, but it's being sold by Speedy Hen rather than Amazon. Amazon's got it at full cover price, and these two places, like I said, I haven't really dealt with them before. And for me, with the fact that they've announced a Superman Batman Omnibus Volume 2, which means that it's going to collect more than the Absolutes did before, this to me says that these are kind of an obsolete format. It's going to go the same way as something like Absolute Justice League Origins or Absolute Batman Court of Owls. Because the Omnibus is out that collects more of this run, people are more likely to gravitate towards that rather than an Absolute of just part of a run. Don't get me wrong, yeah, this is the best part of that run, so admittedly, you might want to just get these 2 Absolute editions because then you can get the bulk of the good part of this story. Like I said, we've got quite a few Absolutes because I didn't want to just be doing the same books that I've said the last couple of months. Absolute Batman Year 1. Now I know a lot of people weren't too happy with this because effectively you just get the same book twice and it's got like a 100 quid cover price. I fortunately managed to get this at Books Etc price, but I think maybe those days are behind us now for this book. So Amazon, the place that they are listing it for is 22% off, but it's not them directly, it's Book Safari. Amazon's got it at full cover price. There's already people that are selling it for over cover. Okay, so you can get it for about 75 quid from Read Comics, so that's a pretty decent price, especially if you couple it with a few other things so that you can save on your shipping. But I don't know if this is going to be like the last batch of these books because of the fact that it just doesn't seem like there's more and more of these coming in stock. And when you think about Absolute editions, I don't know if anybody feels the same way as me, but it seems like Absolute editions don't get as much hype about them anymore. And the ones that do are stuff like your Absolute Watchmen, your Absolute Dark Knight. Batman Year 1, despite it being acclaimed and despite it surviving throughout all the years since it's been published, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of buzz about this Absolute edition in particular. So I don't know, maybe you've got a few months left with this, but for me it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of places that are topping this up in the stock levels. The next one, and I know that a lot of people were buzzing about this when it got announced, but then it didn't seem like a lot of people actually brought it. Absolute Day Tripper. Now I don't think that that's the actual cover price. I believe it was about 80 quid, so I'm not really too sure why it's saying that, but Amazon's the only place that we really know. I've shopped with A Place in Space before. They are pretty decent. That's where I got me Orion Omnibus from, but there aren't really too many other places that are selling this at the minute. And similar to Batman Year 1, despite how much acclaim there is to this book, nobody seemed to care too much when the Absolute edition actually got released. I've literally never seen anything in stock on this hive. The cheapest on eBay is 65 quid. I believe that might be Read Comics. GP Limited, I know some people have had some issues. I haven't when I've used them, but I know some people have. And Read Comics has got it for about 70 quid. So yeah, this is another one that every time I look at it, it doesn't look like it's at a healthy stock level. So that's normally what gets something on my radar. Like I said, I'm not perfect with every guess that I have on these whale watches, but some good news. And I know that I did say that I'm not just going to repeat books that I spoke about last month, but this is good news, and for once it looks like I might have actually been correct about a book. So let me revel in that moment because it's probably never going to happen again. But Batman by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo Volume 1, I told you guys last month to not jump on this for over cover price because of the fact that I think there's going to be more copies that are coming across because of the fact that that Volume 2 is coming out. I reached out to JP at the beginning of the month and he said said that he's able to order it, so I was like, okay, I'm going to keep my eye on this, and then it just seems as if more have come back in stock pretty much everywhere. So it's still saying back order at the minute, but I do know that he got a few of them in, so that must have sold out, and now he's already gotten more on back order. But Books Etc. had this back in stock for near enough 50% off just a couple of days ago. I think they've already gone, unfortunately, but look, so you've got your book depository. Weirdery was also there, and you had a few others, but it does look as if some of those that have already come back across are already drying up again. So if this was a book that you wanted, now that it's under cover price again, even though I still think there's going to be even more that come back across, I'd recommend getting it because of the fact that we all were panicking last month. We all thought that we might not get a chance to get this by the time that volume 2 comes out. And I can't lie, I was sweating last month when I was saying to you guys, oh, just hold, I reckon more are going to come back, because in the back of my head I was like, you don't know that, Marcus, you're not for certain on that. So I'm just really glad that more of these did come back across, and I hope that if you were looking for this, you do manage to get some. But here's a little bit of a tip. I'm going to give you this one because it's helped me in quite a few situations before. But when you can see that there's 9 places selling it, just have a look at some of the date ranges. So if you look here, they're all around about the May 10th to the May 20th range. What that normally means for me is that some of these places will have these on back order and they'll know when they're going to come in. And it might be a few weeks, but they're pre-selling it before they've even got it. So what I tend to do is I look at those dates and then I come back and check a few days later and see if any of the other places have got it, because it might be that it's just a shipment that we're all waiting for across from the US, but places like Books Etc., maybe Amazon, maybe even Read Comics don't exactly know the specific date that they're going to get them, or maybe they want to check for damages and stuff like that first. Actually, scratch Amazon off that list, they've never once checked for damages. And it might surprise you then, on those dates when they're saying that they can send them to you, all of a sudden everywhere's got it again. A book that has seesawed in stock recently is the Justice League International Volume 1. Now if you remember, for quite a few months it was difficult to get Volume 2. However, more Volume 1s came out at the point just before Volume 2 was going to get released, and I picked one up there and I thought that, oh, maybe we're in the clear with this, but it looks as if already, again, it's out of stock. So Amazon stopped stocking it about halfway through March, because it's typical, now that Volume 2's in stock, you can't get Volume 1 anywhere. Cheapest on eBay is 89 quid. Can't buy it from in-stock trades either, so that's really not a good sign at this point. But you might see a few people offloading this because of the fact that it is 80s era comics that some people might have just brought, and maybe they realised that they didn't actually like it. So you might be able to get one of these for cheap, but I reckon that this might be drying up here and there because of the fact we don't know if there's going to be a Volume 3, and I believe that that's what we need to complete this run. If a Volume 3 does get announced, then I wouldn't worry too much about Volume 1, but it might be the case that if you can still get this for undercover price somewhere, it might be worth just buying it to save yourself that disappointment in the future. One of my favourite deluxe editions that it's a shame to see that it's going out of stock in a few places is the Superman Secret Origins Deluxe Edition. So it's only got 19% off at Amazon. It's been in print since December 2019, but besides Speedy Hen and Amazon directly, there isn't too many places that have this on hand. Now, deluxe editions from DC tend to go out of print more often than even some omnibuses, so I'm hard pressed to tell you not to worry about this, and deluxe editions are pretty inexpensive. But you don't want to be paying 4 times cover price for a deluxe edition, so you can also get it from Read Comics. I believe I got this from Cheap Comics on sale. No, it's not on sale, but it is still under cover price, and they're not listing it as out of print. But for me, something about this is just making me get me back up a little bit, because I just don't think that this is staying in stock that often in a lot of places. And it's such a great title. It's from Jeff Johns, so I recommend that everybody just pick it up. Another deluxe edition that I noticed was disappearing is the Batgirl Year 1. Now obviously there's 3, there's Batgirl, there's Robin, and there's also Nightwing, but it's this one that's got me attention this month. Full cover price over here on Amazon, been out for over 2 years, there's only 2 places that are selling it, and the only other place is a place in space. Okay, so the cheapest new is 24 quid, and it's Read Comics directly. It's their last one in stock as well. So maybe if you had some of these books but you were missing out on Batgirl, that's the one that should probably be on your radar the most at this point. Another deluxe edition, like I said, all the omnibuses I feel like I covered in the last couple of months, so I wanted to switch it up a bit to make it exciting for you guys that have probably been following this for quite a while. Mr. Miracle Deluxe Edition by Tom King. This might have actually got mentioned last month though, when I was just saying that, because Tom King, everything seemed to be going out of print that he'd made last month. Amazon doesn't have it in stock anymore, but you've got your Book Depository, your Weirdery, your Speedy Hen, but the fact of the matter is that these deluxe editions do seem to be disappearing. doing. If it goes anything like his run on Vision, then you want to make sure that you jump on this so that you don't miss out on it. So this one probably isn't going to be something that you immediately need to pick up, but at the same time I don't think it's something that you can sleep on for much longer. We've got two more DC books now, and they are both omnibuses. Now something that I want to do is check in on these Sandman omnibuses for you guys. A few months ago you'll remember that these were a cause for concern because they all just started to go out of stock. Volume 1, so you can get it from Book Safari for pretty much half price, although you have to factor in shipping. Amazon's selling it for about 80 quid. The first two volumes have been in print since 2013 and the last one was 2019. Book and Mail selling it for 45% off as well. This was the one that I believe went a bit dodgy in its stock levels when we last checked. Amazon's selling it for about 83 quid. Books Etc.'s going for 86 quid, which is quite steep for them. And volume 3 being sold by Book and Mail again. Amazon's going for 82 quid. Books Etc. doesn't have that one. With it being the case that they're pushing forward with these deluxe editions, I think it's going to be the case that even though Sandman is a big seller, they could pretty much print it in single sheets and give you one single sheet each month, and there would probably be people that would buy that and think that's cool. But I don't know, as much as people don't like to admit this, there isn't too much difference in printing a deluxe edition and an omnibus. It's just that it's probably going to cost a bit more to print an omnibus because of the fact that it's bigger. But those deluxe editions of Sandman seem to be selling to the point where they've solicited quite a few volumes in advance. So I don't really know, that takes attention off these omnibuses. I don't really know too many people that are going to buy both the omnibus and also the deluxe edition. But if there were some gaps in your Sandman omnibus collection and you wanted to make sure that you filled them out before they disappear, I think that it's something that you need to be doing pretty soon. The last book that we're going to mention is the iZombie Omnibus. You might be thinking, why am I mentioning this? Because of the fact that it's still got a healthy amount off. It's been in print since 2015. It's got a TV show about it. All of pretty much the big names have got it. Books Etc., Blackwell's, Wordery, Speedy Hen. It's almost like try and find one that I normally go to that doesn't have it. But I remember a few months ago when it was that Deathstroke New 52 Omnibus, and it was pretty much the same situation. Now yeah, there isn't any clear-cut rule with this. Just because one title goes out of print because of a few signs, it doesn't mean that another that's got those same signs is also going to go out of print. But if I was to have a sixth sense about books that it just feels like they've been in stock for too long but the hype hasn't been there to keep it in stock, this would definitely be top of that list. So yeah, at the minute you can pretty much get it from anywhere. Choose where you want to buy it from and they've probably got it. But I don't think it's going to be the same situation maybe 6 months from now. So if this was one that you wanted, maybe you wanted it when it got announced and then you completely forgot that it even existed like it seems the majority of people have, then maybe keep this on your keeper. This is a little Chrome extension that I've got that allows you to track prices for stuff across different Amazons. You can also get notifications when it reaches a certain price, and this has been essential to me doing whale watch. So I get a few people asking me about this at least every couple of whale watches, so make sure that that's something that you've downloaded. I don't know what the equivalent is for any other kind of web browser. I only really use Chrome, so I'm not really going to search anywhere else. This might be one that you want to keep in your keeper just in case it was that you didn't want it to disappear in front of your eyes, because the same situation did happen with the Deathstroke Omnibus, and that was one that people slept on for a while. It didn't really have a lot of buzz about it, but then all of a sudden it disappeared, and I've seen a lot of people saying, hey, where can I get this from now? Okay, so we're now moving into the Marvel section. I've almost finally done another episode of Whale Watch. I can't believe it. I've already been filming for 3.5 hours because I keep having to stop and have breaks because I keep going hot and then cold. No, I'm not trying to sing a Katy Perry song. I've also got a really bad headache like right behind my eye right here, so honestly I just hope I can get through this one. Let's just see if I can do it. The first book that we're going to talk about, come on, I can feel you all rooting for me after you're watching this. Well, not all of you, I know that some people fucking hate this show, but as you know, we can't start off our Marvel section without doing our Chi Check, which is a section of the show where we check on our boy Shang-Chi. I got that in the first time now. Maybe having a headache actually works to my advantage. But that Shang-Chi trailer dropped this month, and it seems like there's going to be quite a bit of hype about this character coming about. I don't know if there is now going to be a restock of this, because I'd heard for so long that there's only going to be one printing of these books because they had issues getting the rights to the character Fu Manchu. But volume 3, it's creeping up in price. You've got 15 places that are selling it at the minute. You've got your Speedy Hen, they seem to be one of the best. Volume 4, it says that there's going to be a restock on the 5th of June. A Place in Space has it available though. Volume 2, that's always been pretty decently priced anyway. And Volume 1, Books Around the World, can't say I've used them myself. Okay, so it's only Volume 3 that you can find, but it is on sale and it's cheaper than Amazon, so that's a good place if you needed Volume 3. Cheap Comics has been one of our best bets to get these Shang-Chi omnibuses. Okay, so Volume 1 is back to being full cover price. This was on sale for the longest amount of time, and you can't get Volume 2, the standard edition cover. It's going to be a bit of a gamble with these Shang-Chi omnibuses at this point, because are Marvel going to be able to strike another deal in time to get reprints for these omnibuses before the movie comes out. It makes sense for Marvel to try and get that done. It just depends what the estate of Fu Manchu is actually doing at this point. I don't really know about the legality of all that. I can barely speak at this point, so asking me to be some kind of legal aficionado probably isn't your best bet. You can't get volume 1 of Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, which is a sister series to Shang-Chi. So at this point, I'm in a state of doubt. I don't know what's happening with these books at all, but I'd recommend just seeing what happens with them. Again though, if the books that you want, I've always advocated this, if it's at a price that you can afford and that you're happy to pay for it, just get it to save yourself the disappointment. But the first one that we're going to talk about is the Wolverine Goes to Hell Omnibus. Now, for anybody that's checked out the Uncanny Omar's recent videos, you'll obviously know that there's a certain reprint that's coming out that is directly connected to this one. I'm not going to spoil it for you here, but to get to the point, Wolverine Goes to Hell, this is the one that I think you need to be looking at now. But as we can see here, there's only 3 left in stock from Amazon directly. There's 12 places that look like they're selling it at the moment. Yeah, you've got your books, etc., your book depository, you've also got your Weirdery, your Blackwells, but let's be honest with ourselves, how many times have we seen this, that a reprint will come out for an omnibus and then all of a sudden the other volumes that you needed to get, that you were sitting on, that you were waiting on, have dried out by that point. Other people are going to be in the same boat, that they were waiting for that book to get reprinted until they bought this one. So if you were somebody that was waiting as well, you've got competition now. 30% off is better than having to pay over cover price, so I'd recommend picking this one up because of the fact that the book that's getting reprinted had a lot of buzz about it, but this one, people don't even really seem to understand that you need to get this one in order to complete that run. You know what, this is probably also going to be the book that makes it at the front of the display picture for this month's episode of Whale Watch. That's just how much this needs to be on your radar. Another one, speaking of reprints, is the Captain America Omnibus. Now, it's been a year since all these reprints started coming out, so I feel like we've got a lot more knowledge about what exactly happens with these. We've seen stuff like the Astonishing X-Men just come and go for stupid prices again. Uncanny X-Force was the same, and I'm sure that there's been a few others like Annihilation. So we know that it isn't something that they seem to be constantly keeping restocks of, so the Captain America Omnibus already has a lot of those telltale signs. Only 15 left in stock, and it's also at full cover price. They're the only place that's selling it as well. I do believe that Books etc. got this in for a short amount of time. Yeah, the cheapest place they're showing is Amazon. I know we all wanted that beautiful DM variant, and you know, some of us got it, not bragging, but they're reprinting the rest of this Captain America line as well. So as you can see here, Death's being solicited. I also believe that Reborn is also due a reprint as well, but already I can't see this book being stocked anywhere. Now both of them are Purple Button of Doom, unfortunately, so this is one. Getting cover price for this is better than the price that it was before this reprint. I love this one. I would gladly pay cover price for this. It's that good. So just, if it was that you wanted this, why are you waiting around for it? Why have you waited this long for it? These reprints, if it's something that you know you need, they need to be front and center on the top of your list. I don't know if Marvel's going to change the game a little bit later on down the line, but for this point, this looks like it's going the same way as stuff like the Uncanny X-Force and also the Astonishing X-Men. But I've been promising you guys for months that this was going to happen, and this is going to be the first time that we attempt this. But we're going to look at some epic collections. For the last couple of months, I've been keeping quite a few on my radar, checking in here and there, seeing if I can notice any patterns that are similar to the Omnibuses and Deluxe editions, and it seems like I might have cracked the code. Boomer kidding, no one listens to me anyway, but the first one that we're going to look at here is the Avengers West Coast Epic Collection. It's this one right here, Vision Quest. Of course, you should know that this one's probably increased in popularity due to the fact that there's the links between this and WandaVision. I can't remember if this was where White Vision appeared, but look right here, so it's only 20% off at Amazon. It says that they're in stock, but it doesn't really say how many they've got left. But there's only 2 places that are selling this new, and that's a local comic shop, so that's not exactly somewhere that's got a massive amount of them. Like I said, I'm learning these epic collections as well. It's a learning curve for myself, so if there's something that's not entirely right, I'm gonna learn about it, don't worry. I Got to Have That, which sounds like something that I should own, has the last one at the cheapest price over at eBay, although it's still cheaper at Amazon, but this looks like it's one that's on its way out. And it's only been in stock for about 5 months, so that's quite shocking, to be fair. The next epic collection, I know that these Daredevil epics really go out of print, and admittedly, I was hoping to get a few of these, but I was also hoping to get an Anna Nocenti omnibus for Daredevil to bridge a gap in the collection. So I know if I buy epic collections, I'm probably gonna have to buy all of them, so I've brought none of them. But yeah, look here, it's already pretty much at cover price. It came in print on my dad's birthday last year. There's only 2 left in stock, and again, it's pretty much a similar situation to the Avengers West Coast that we just checked out. We've got quite a few epic collections, so if I'm not going into like my Read Comics, my Forbidden Planet as well, just allow it, because I want to make sure that I can get as many of these in as I can. Jesus Christ, they're even showing that Waterstones has this available. Read Comics, it's the last one that they've got in stock, and it's at cover price. But yeah, if you could give me the benefit of the doubt with these epic collections, I don't know what the cover prices are generally for these just yet. I'm learning. It's something that I want to build into my repertoire, but there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve. There's going to be some teething problems, so try not to be an absolute dickhead about it if it is that I've said something incorrect. The next epic collection, because like I said, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just putting 1 or 2 of these in here if I saw a pattern with them, but there's 2 Captain America ones that I think should be on your radar. The first of which is going to be Monsters and Men right here, written by JMD Matias. So like we can see, about 17% off, although like I said, I'm not too sure what cover price is. Only 3 places that are selling it, both of them are independent comic book shops. I've been following a lot of epic collection news, and it seems like reprints work in a similar way to omnibuses, so they get an actual proper announcement. Until then, it looks like it might be on the chopping block, and this is definitely one of those as well. I really hope we get a Mark Gruenwald omnibus for Captain America at some point, but this is the next one that I'm going to talk about, Blood and Glory. Again, Amazon's the only place that's selling it directly, except for A Place in Space, which is a local comic shop, because I know that people who are fans of epic collections might not also be fans of omnibuses, so I'm hoping that this section, this Whale Watch, can also help those as well. And these epic collections, I know that they can go pretty rare as well. The cheapest on Amazon's 30 quid. Read Comics, they've got 3 available at the minute, so they've got quite a few of those in, but it does also seem like not a lot of other places are stocking it. Moving on to a Star Wars epic collection now. Yes, I'm making sure that I cover every part of the galaxy, even if it's far, far away, but it's the New Republic Volume 2, which I probably should have typed in, it would have been a bit easy for me. This one right here, so again, only 9 left in stock. It says that there's more on the way, but admittedly, it's been in print since 2016. Star Wars, because of the fact that I know it's one of the most popular franchises of all time. I don't know if Marvel keeps their Star Wars epic collections in print a little bit better because of the fact that it's such a big IP, but you could use the same argument for stuff like Captain America and Avengers. So the only place that's selling it besides Amazon is Books Express Media Services. Can't say I've ever used them before, but it does seem as if this has been pretty consistently in print since it first came out, but it's only been recently that there hasn't been anybody that's selling it new, except for that, you know, local comic shop that we were talking about. The Fantastic Four epic collection now, it might seem like there's a lot of epic collections, but it's mostly because of the fact that I haven't covered epic collections before, so all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, I need to cover more of these. But it's this one right here, the first one that pops up, The More Things Change. This is technically volume 18, but they don't say it on the spine, which I think is a really good move. It's not even Amazon directly that's selling it at first, it's A Place in Space. Amazon's got it for £22 though, so I'm not really too sure why they aren't promoting that first. But there aren't too many places that have this one in stock. There isn't any Books Etc., Wordery, Book Depository, Speedy Hen. It's literally Amazon, A Place in Space, and another place. In the epic collection game, I know that because there's more of them, because obviously there's going to be thinner volumes in comparison to something like an omnibus, and they can get more of these out, it is more difficult to keep track of all of them. That's something that I'm going to try and do for you guys in future, so make sure that you're subscribed, because epic collections are going to be showing up more and more on this channel now. And the next one is the Miss Marvel epic collection, This Warrior, This Woman. This one right here, I believe this is volume 1, but it's another one, only 5 left in stock. It's showing that it's at cover price, even if it might be a little bit more. Been in print since 2019, probably to coincide with the movie, and it's only Amazon and A Place in Space that's got it once again. I'm also going to try and get in touch with people who know more about epic collections to see if they've got some kind of knowledge on what makes it look like something's going out of print, so that I can hopefully bring more knowledge to you guys. I want this to be a good resource for you, so me not understanding something isn't a good enough excuse, but I'm going to try and develop that skill. But the last epic collection that we're going to cover here is The Incredible Hulk, and it's gonna be The Hulk Must Die. Where is it? Only one place it's selling it, and it's at page 45. Nowhere else has got it on Amazon directly. It's been in print since 2017. Like I said, feel free to check out those other websites. Maybe you can stumble on it. Maybe at Forbidden Planet, Read Comics, maybe even Organic Price Books has got some of these. So yeah, if you ask me, it actually looks as if this might have already gone out of print. Like I said, I'm still learning with all these. Yeah, so if you can get this for pretty much cover price, even if it is from a third party seller, just get it. It seems like that one has has already gone out, if I'm honest with you. But jumping back into the omnibuses, I had a few people asking me about this one, and it has been announced that there might be a subsequent volume for it, but like I said, I'd recommend checking out the Uncanny Omar's video because of the fact that he had a lot more information about what's included and when it's going to be released. But I know that some people were having issues getting this one. It does seem as if it's back in Amazon for about 20% off. You know, there was that bit of time when nobody was... Okay, there was that massive bit of time when nobody was really selling this. I know that the majority of that time was pre-order, but even after its release, you couldn't really get this anywhere. It's in stock now, so if you did want this, we haven't had any rumblings that there's going to be a restock or anything like that. Actually, that reminds me, I'm just going to check on the Uncanny Omar's recent stream because sometimes he has information about books that are going to come back across. As always, if you aren't subscribed to him, why aren't you? Like, how in the fuck do you know who I am but you don't know who the Uncanny Omar is? So yeah, no news yet on a New Mutants restock or anything like that. It's not out of the realm of possibility because, you know, we're getting a Wolverine Volume 1 restock as well, so who knows? But at the same time, we're going to get to that one as well, so don't worry. If it was that you really wanted the New Mutants, I've always said that it's better to just get it and have it if it's at a price that you're comfortable to pay for it, than constantly holding out for a price that may never come. That is better than paying over cover price and paying the scalper price that I saw a few people trying to sell it for only a matter of months ago. So yeah, hopefully that's good news for some of you that the New Mutants Omnibus does seem to have come back in stock over at Amazon. I know I mentioned this one last month, and I know I've been saying that I'm not mentioning these books anymore, but yeah, it looks like Amazon does not have this anymore, and there's only two places that are selling it. You've got Amazon US and the toy aisle. This is on its last legs. Please make sure that you buy this. I love this. Actually, only buy it if you actually want to read it. So this is pretty much your last warning on this book. Let's have a see if Cheap Comics has still got it as part of their sale. No, it's at full cover price and they are listing it as out of print now, so that is definitely one that needs to immediately be on your radar. I don't know how many more times I can give a warning for that book, so we're just going to move on to the next one, which is The Amazing Spider-Man by JMS Volume 2. Now I know a lot of people are still waiting for a reprint of that Volume 1. We had a hint quite a few months ago that it might happen. I believe David Gabriel himself said that it might be coming. I covered that in like episode 5, so just look for the episode of Whale Watch where The Amazing Spider-Man was in the thumbnail because that's where I talked about it. I can't remember that far back now. I can't remember what I filmed an hour ago because my head hurts that much. But Volume 2, if you're one of the rare people that had Volume 1 and you still haven't picked up Volume 2, this looks like it's on its way out now as well. I'm not sure if this is flat spine, a curved spine. I know that Comic Bound ordered a second one because it was the DM variant and he thought it was going to be the curved spine, and he got stuck with a second flat spine. Like, I feel so sorry for the dude. I don't know the spine-ture of this book, but if you wanted it, here it is. But yes, you probably saw it there whilst we were looking at the Uncanny Omar's stream, but The Incredible Hulk by Peter David Volume 2, both covers, is available for pre-order up at organic priced books. Remember, use code WOOFWOOF in the affiliate link in the description because really helps the channel, and I'm hoping that I can upgrade this webcam because I literally look like Voldemort every time I turn it on. But yes, both covers are back up for pre-order. It does seem as if this is going to be a wide restock, but this seems to be the only place that I've seen offering pre-orders for it. Everybody that was saying that they were struggling to get this book, make sure that you pre-order this, because people that pre-ordered it seem to have been the only ones that got this the first time round. But if I hadn't have got this, hand on heart, I would be pre-ordering this from organic price books right now, probably both covers just to be sure, because you don't want to be missing out on this at all. You don't want it to be the case that this restock comes. We don't know how big of a restock it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be wide. I don't know if stuff like books etc is going to be finally getting copies of this. I can't stress to you how important it is that you don't miss out on this again. If this is a book that you wanted, if this is a book that you missed out, even if you missed out on the cover that you really wanted, just pre-order it. So I don't mean to get mean on you, but this is a book that you can't afford to miss out on again if it was that you wanted it the first time round and you didn't get it. Reed Comics is still showing it as out of stock. I don't know if when that restock comes around they're going to get some more of it. They've got, actually that's great if somebody really wanted this and they don't mind a bit of corner damage. They have the DM variant for Volume 1 in stock. Beautiful cover. I'm so glad I've got that on pre-order. No, I can't see it anywhere there either, so it does look as if it is going to be a restock, but the only place at the moment that I can see from searching that has it available for pre-order is organic price books. Another one that I think has the potential to be sought after once it does go out of print is the Earth X Omnibus. You've got Volume 1 Alpha and you've got Omega. It looks like they both are creeping out of stock, but Volume 1 in particular, look, there's only 4 left in stock. It's Amazon directly, and they are the only place that's selling it. Someone's already selling it used for over cover price. It's got Alex Ross on the front cover, so I think this is one that people will want this eventually if it does go out of print. Omega as well, this is drastically thinner than the first volume, but for some reason it's pretty much the same price. Again, only 2 left in stock, and it is only Amazon that's selling it. I believe I got both of these from Cheap Comics, so I'm just going to have a see if I can find them there for you now. Yeah, so Omega is still pretty much half price off, even though the cover price was steep enough to begin with anyway. They've also got Alpha, so that is an option as well. Now, one of the next books that we're going to look at, it did show up a few months ago, but I've now had confirmation from JP directly that the Punisher Max Omnibuses, both Volume 1 and Volume 2, you can't order them from Diamond anymore. That one as well that I recently reviewed, it seems like everywhere's selling it used. So there's only 4 places that are selling it. Amazon says that they've got it in stock, only 9% off, although I believe cover price was more expensive than that. Book Depository's got it, but there isn't really anywhere else that's stocking it. It's never a good sign when Amazon just refuses to show you a book. Like, it's showing me the Jason Aaron run before the thing that I've even typed in. It's even showing me the Rick Remender run before the thing that I've typed in. Here we are, currently unavailable, so you can't find this. Okay, so best book price isn't even showing me the Omnibus Volume 1, so let's have a see on Read Comics. You can get Volume 2 in stock, but you can't get Volume 1 from there. Cheap Comics, I believe that these had these on sale a few months ago, so let's just have a see. Volume 1, the price has already creeped up, and they haven't even got Volume 2. But the Punisher, especially when these omnibuses got printed, was a big name character because he had his own Netflix show. You might just be able to find these in a few comic shops, so I'd recommend doing that because I love the Punisher, he's one of my favourite Marvel characters. And I'd hate for you guys to miss out on this if it was that you really wanted it. So those are 2 that you definitely need to get on. We've had confirmation that you can't buy these from Diamond anymore. One thing that I do want to point out is these Amazing Spider-Man Omnibuses Volume 2. Now you can get it for Wear a Tear from Organic Price Books for 40% off, which is pretty decent. There's Cornered Dings, and if you ask JP directly, he probably will send you a picture of it. He's really helpful. But it's also showing up as sold out for like the standard edition anyway, that isn't like part of Wear and Tear. So that's one that I'd really be a bit cautious of because I don't know, Marvel seems to be reprinting these Spider-Man omnibuses quite frequently. Obviously we know that Volume 3 is also going to get a reprint, so I don't know if they're going to do a restock of Volume 2. I might check within the next month to see if that sounds like it's on the cards, but I believe that you could still get this from Amazon, so that's why I'm bringing it up today. Watch it not be in stock now, watch it mug me off. Okay, so it's at cover price, which is pretty steep, but they're the only place that's selling it, I'm afraid. Another one that I want to point out to you guys, I'm just going to rush through these last couple because of the fact my voice is going, I genuinely feel like I'm going to pass out, and admittedly, I want you guys to be able to go and spend your time doing something other than listening to me, if I'm honest with you. The Infinity War Omnibus. Now, we had the Infinity Gauntlet have a reprint, we also had Infinity Crusade come out, but it seems like Infinity War is stuck in the middle, and it looks like it's on its way out now. 19% off, not that great, and there's only 2 places that are selling it. It's Amazon and a place in space. There's not too many places that have this in at the minute, so this is one that should be on your radar, but admittedly, I haven't really heard too many people talk about Infinity War. I hear everybody talk about Infinity Gauntlet, don't really hear anybody talk about Infinity Crusade, and unfortunately Infinity War is in that same bracket. But still, if you wanted it, this looks like it should be on your radar. How many times have I said this looks like it should be on your radar now? Next one that we're going to talk about is the Miles Morales Omnibus. Now this one looks like it's still pretty much in stock, one of the only reprints that seems to not have any issues, but this one, it came out this time last year, and it's the Miles Morales Omnibus that nobody seems to recognise. Only 19% off, Amazon's the only place that's selling it. This should be on your radar, guys. And the last book that we're going to talk about this month, and like I said, let's see if I can do it before my voice goes, is the Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme Omnibuses. Now, if you're a fan of the Uncanny Omar, you will know that there's a reason why I'm bringing these up, but admittedly, nobody seemed to have been asking about these omnibuses. But I have a feeling that these 2 omnibuses might disappear, unfortunately. You might know exactly what I'm talking about, but I haven't heard word that there's going to be a restock. Who knows, maybe Marvel might do a stealth one in time for what I'm talking about at the minute, if you haven't already guessed. But there are still a healthy amount of places that do have this available. You've even got your books, etc. So if you did want them, I think it is worth picking them up, especially because of the news that we recently had. Sorcerer Supreme Volume 1, it is listed as out of print, but it's still on sale at Cheap Comics. Volume 2 is listed as out of print. It's not being sold directly by Amazon when you first click on it. What price do they have it for? They've got it at pretty much cover price, but you can still get it from books, etc. So that might be cheaper on their website directly. But those are all the books that I'm going to talk about, and that was the end of our 12th episode of Whale Watch. It feels mad that I've done 12 episodes of this, that I'm at a year now. By the time this has come out, we've probably already done the stream, so I'm not really going to waffle on too much here, but I just want to thank everybody that has stuck around and watched this, whether you supported it from episode 1 or episode 12, and if you haven't liked it, or if you've just been nitpicking the entire time, why the fuck are you still watching this? I'm just a dude in my spare bedroom that's trying to help people out and make sure that they don't miss out on books that maybe they wanted. Like, honestly, every episode of Whale Watch is so knackering, it takes so much out of me, but I just want to make sure that I can keep doing this for the right people. So if you love it, I am going to keep bringing this, and hopefully also going to keep bringing in epic collections and more stuff that I can do to hopefully improve this show. You're the reason why I'm going to keep doing this, and here's to the next year of Whale Watch. I'm just going to keep improving. I'm nowhere near the finished article. Every time I do an episode of Whale Watch, I watch it back and I'm like, this could have been better. And like I said, I've just felt so off this episode, but I didn't want to have to postpone it. I didn't want to have to cancel Whale Watch for a month, because I know that some of you guys do really enjoy this, and I'm grateful for that. So I'm going to leave this video here. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, why did you get this far? If you do want to support the channel, you can use our affiliate link to Organic Price Books in the description down below, along with the code WOOFWOOF to get $2 off your order. As well, there is also a tip jar. I pretty much only get about £5 off an episode of Whale Watch, and it takes me about 3 days to do one of these videos. So every time there is a donation to my tip jar, it just makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing, and it is greatly appreciated. I don't expect anybody to do it, but it is something that I do really appreciate. And I just hope that what I've got planned for the next year, stuff that isn't even directly YouTube related, is something that hopefully pays off for that investment that you guys have put into me. But share this video where you can. Like I said, I do believe that this is a resource that might be able to help quite a few people, even if it isn't the finished, polished article, but it does just really help the channel, and it makes it worthwhile doing these videos. But feel free to check out some of my other videos, maybe catch up on some of the previous months if there's a book that you didn't see in this list that you think maybe should be. But until next time, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad, all you dogs. Woof woof! See you at the next video.